that time, Suge was working as a bodyguard for Bobby Brown and DOC. So how did he kind of parlay that into Death Row?
He got lucky. There was a guy by the name of Al Heyman that was a boxer promoter now, and he also was giving tours and stuff like that. And he learned a lot from Al Heyman and a guy by the name of Dick Griffey. And he listened to them and got a lot of knowledge from them, and they gave him a lot of game, man. He was a little bit more inspiring, and that's where you hear the situations of being around as a bodyguard, where he got around a guy by the name of Chocolate, who went and did some things with Vanilla Ice, and where they got that money and stuff like that. So it's just really being around, always having a love for music, but really just being around, people like that, where he just sucked up game, and I guess he always knew that he wanted to be more than just a bodyguard, and he got lucky. He got lucky,
man, because he got Dre, he got Snoop, Tha Dogg Pound.
He got lucky.
I mean, when he started Death Row, how big was the influence he had in LA?
As far as people didn't really know who he was, and so they knew of the company. They knew of Dr. Dre because he was the face and Snoop Dogg, but they didn't know who Suge Knight was. It wasn't until he got on the cover of the New York magazines and stuff. The red suit, you say? You want to say the red suit? Well, that's when people recognize him, when stuff like that happened. And so I remember we used to go to clubs and stuff like that. And women didn't know who he was, and that bothered him. And so that's why it became Suge Knight and Death Row. But he got big, but people didn't know who he was. We used to get on the planes in first class, and he used to get so offended because, older white folks would be sitting up there, they would go, well, who you play football for? And stuff like that. Anyway, I just assumed he was a big old football player or something. So, yeah.
You know what, though? Like, I think if he never get in that cover, if he was still in the background, he would be out right now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I think he become a star. How do you feel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in fairness to him, it wasn't something that he loved it, but it was really his PR guy, this gentleman by the name of Papa G, we called him George Price, that was really pushing it out to say, hey, Suge, you need to get out front. You know, it's Suge Knight and Death Row. It's Suge Knight. And so he could have always vetoed it, but he went right along with it. Incident I'll tell you about that happened with the guys called the Stanley Brothers. These are two guys that he got put on probation for, because the situation was they were at the recording studio and he walked in and he went in the studio because this guy that I was telling you about that was his mentor by the name of Dick Griffey was always on him about the phone bill, because everybody know in the 90s it's not like it is where you just buy a set and you had to pay for every minute. Cell phones, business phones, everything. So phone bills was high, back in the day. And so he was always getting, Dick Griffey was always on about the phone bills. And so he walked in the studio and he told the two guys, he said, hey, y'all get off the phone. I got off the phone, but he didn't think nothing of it. Figured they're going to get off the phone. He walks in the back. He goes and look on the camera and see the guy still on the phone. So he come back up. Now he mad. And, he goes, hey, didn't I tell you, you nice gentleman? And I'm using a better word. You get off the phone. And they're like, nigga, who are you? F you. This ain't your shit. This is Dr. Dre stuff.
Wow.
Oh, man, don't do that.
Yeah, and that's when he allegedly, he got convicted of pistol whipping them and stripping them down and all of that. And that's why he got the 2 strikes that made his case be even more this time, because of the assault that he allegedly did to the Stanley Brothers. Yeah. And so I just say all that to say incidents like that did happen because people didn't know who Suge Knight was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But okay, so I mean, I've read and I've heard in interview people say he wasn't a gangster per se, but he had muscle around him. Is that
Well,
true?
that's factual, but you're a gangster. See, I hate that. I think you're a gangster. You could be a gangster. Anybody, any profession could be a gangster, you know? That's all a mindset. I think the correct word is a gang member or a gang banger.
Okay.
And he wasn't. He didn't grow up as a gang member or gang banger, but he didn't grow up as a buster either. You know what I'm saying? So usually people that you hear that from are people that's involved in the gangs. Because they think they the ultimate or the tough guys or whatever. I don't prescribe to that. I believe there's gangsters in every profession. So I say all that just to say that no, he wasn't a gang member or a gang banger growing up. He eventually surrounded himself by them because unfortunately that's what the music business called for and the element that he was involved in. But growing up, he grew up as I did in a 2-parent family home. Went to school. Of course, we know he went to college. He was considered an athlete, and so unfortunately, yes, that is accurate. But do that make him any less of a gangster or whatever? Because no, I don't think gang members or gang bangers are tougher than everybody like they like to portray themselves to be.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.